is exempt. Let's bring into the conversation Catherine West, a Labour MP, a shadow Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs Minister, also a member of the all-party parliamentary group on China. Thank you for joining us. Can I ask for your reaction to the scenes that we have seen from China over the course of the past few days?
Well, I think everybody has been very worried about Chinese people coming out and wanting their freedoms, and also condolences to all the families who lost people in that terrible fire in Urumqi, which is the capital of the Xinjiang territory in China. And I do hope, and we all hope, that this situation is not going to end up in more violence. I share James Cleverly's statement on the treatment of a BBC journalist, and all journalists should be able to get on and do their work in China or in any other country without fear or favour. And I'm very pleased that in the last hour, the Prime Minister's also come out and said similar things about the freedom of expression, the freedom for journalists to go about their job and do their work. And we look forward to the Prime Minister exchanging his views with the President of China, which I believe he was going to do at the recent meeting in Bali, but that didn't happen. We mustn't leave our values by the door when we trade with China, which is how sometimes it feels. It feels as though we might not be speaking our minds and speaking about the feelings that we as citizens have in the UK in relation to this sort of behaviour.
How much leverage, how much influence does Rishi Sunak actually have here, though, over President Xi? If you sort of reverse the situation, I don't think we would take too kindly to a foreign leader telling us how to run British society, would we?
I think provided we do it in a multilateral way, which means all countries saying the same thing, that journalists need to go about their work in a foreign country without fear, and equally that people in whichever country they are have a right to express what they feel. And that is the point at which I guess we will have differences with the autocratic regime of China or Russia or other countries. But what's important is that we express our views and our values and that we don't leave them at the door, which is how sometimes it feels as though we're a bit inconsistent on how we operate with autocracies like China.
Just talking about the detention of a journalist, as we have been, I did notice under the Twitter post that James Cleverly made earlier references to other similar situations, including the arrest of an LBC journalist, Charlotte Lynch, a couple of weeks ago. This kind of, needs to be remembered, I guess, everywhere, doesn't it? The freedom of the press.
It does indeed, and Charlotte is clearly doing her job and needs to have the right to go about her job and do her job. And we must also think about, of course, journalists in China or in other places like China. And I'm thinking about Jimmy Lai, who was a Hong Kong media professional who is actually standing trial this month and has experienced a high level of intimidation and bullying. And his supposed charge is that he has been expressing different views, which is what journalists are meant to do, as you know. And I will, and others on the Labour benches will be watching very closely to see how Jimmy Lai is treated. We also saw the imprisonment of Cardinal Zen for freedom of expression as well in Hong Kong. And these are the sorts of things that we must speak up about. We know we have a trading relationship with China, but we must use every opportunity that is presented to us to lay out our values and not to compromise on those.
Catherine West, Labour MP for Hornsey and Wood Green in North London, also a shadow Foreign Office Minister and a member of the all-party parliamentary group on China. Thank you very much for your time.